Hello everyone. So I'm just showing you the prototype Polymoog again, a little more in detail here. This is the prototype, and I'm actually comparing it to the production 203a, which this is one I restored a few years ago, and I use it really heavily here in the studio. Of course, I got it opened up right now because I'm rebuilding some other people's circuit boards and using this thing as the test fixture. So that's why it's all opened up with my scope and everything. But also, this is the 203a Polymoog, and then we got the 280a Polymoog, which is a stripped down version. And this is when it was made famous for the Vox Humana preset. And it's a cool sound. It's a cool Polymoog as well. Basically, same sound engine, just different programming and different filter board, and a little different value capacitors on the low motherboards to give a little different dynamic response and things like that. But anyways, back to this. What I'm going to do first is kind of go over the front interface panel, because this is where you'll really see a lot of differences. And also the keyboard, I should mention too right quick. As you can see, this one starts with C, like I said on the earlier video, where these all start with E on the production units. And so that's a big difference there, keyboard wise. Interface wise, you can kind of see here, I'm going to go over both. So this is the preset, this is the prototype, and as you can see, you have fine-tuned beat, filter glide, audio output levels, which that's all production. Then here's this weird little section called wave shape assignment footage, and I hadn't really figured this out yet. I still hadn't looked into it, but I'm thinking it actually did something with these buttons here, because these are actually on the production Polymoog here, which actually you can select your rank of 8 or 4 on the sawtooth, and then 16 and 8 on the square wave. So I'm not sure if this was something they had installed previously before they used this method, or how that worked. But anyway, so there's that part. Rank tune for the sawtooth, that's factory, that's on production. There's your frequency modulations, which that's of course production. Your shaping, that's production, and then your sawtooth rank level, that's production. And of course, you'll notice too that none of the presets are labeled because they didn't have instruments programmed yet. They're still working on the programming, and the buttons are a little different too. I notice they're a little deeper with the lettering, and so that's something kind of to note too. This is a little different section. This is called contour generator on the production unit. Here it's called keyboard response. Dynamics is correct. Attack is correct. Sustain is actually moved over here, and your 2 decays are moved here, and they're called decay release. So it might have a little different circuitry there. And now this is something kind of cool, and this is actually something I kind of think would have been cool if they would have kept in the production. This is your brightness control. You can actually manually adjust the brightness of your actual poly cards, because basically those cards have a Polycom chip in them, and they have a little VCF built into them that you can actually change with presets to give the keyboard a different brightness control amount for different instrument simulations basically. And this actually allows you to adjust it in preset mode. You can just hit variation and you can actually tweak it. Something kind of cool. Then your resonators is quite a bit different too. You've got basically your C alpha emphasis, basically same thing like on the production. Only difference is the gains are actually with the groups. So you have low, medium, and high, and so then you got your gains over here to one side. So that's something a little different, but kind of same thing here. You got your selector. And then, of course, your voltage control filter is a little different as well. You've got cutoff frequency, which is in the correct spot. Right here would have been emphasis on the production model, where it says keyboard amount. And then you had this slider, the keyboard amount, right here where sample and hold is. And then you had your basic modulation section right here, which is, it would be rate, amount, and then you'd have sample and hold here. And then you got your envelope generator for your filter, which amount's correct. And then you have attack time here, sustain and then release on the actual production. But that's a good overlook here, and you can kind of see too that the actual variation preset buttons here are different. Because basically you could, these were separate. The frequency modulations, you could actually turn them off and on separately, so you could just adjust just the sawtooth modulation and leave it in preset mode for the square wave, or you can also hit variation mode for the square wave as well and adjust it. So that's just kind of an overlook at the front panel. That's about the biggest difference there on the front panel. Now I'll just show you the production one. We'll go through it. So as you can see, you got same tune, fine tune beat, strong glide, master gain controls. Octave balance is where that wave shape was. There's your sawtooth rank, frequency modulations, shape modulation, which that's your PWM circuit. And then you got your rank mix for sawtooth. There's all your presets. And then you go over here and you got your loudness control, which you can see there what I was talking about with the decay release sliders. And then you got your resonator, which you can see there where it has gain set up for each low, medium, and high instead of being at the end. And you got your voltage controlled amplifier, which I was telling you about, which you have cutoff, emphasis, keyboard mount. Then there's your modulations for rate, mount, and sample and hold. And then there's your control generator. So basically that's kind of the overlook of the front panel. And of course you can see the variation preset buttons here. You can only control both sets with variation mode. So something a little different there. But anyways guys, that's pretty much the interface. And now the circuit boards are a lot different too. They actually look like production boards, but they're actually not. They changed quite a bit evidently between the prototype and the production unit. But basically what you're looking at right here now, this is your reference oscillators, and they look like they're actually correct. That's actually looks like they had it marked up, and they might have changed a few resistor values, but I think that's correct for what is actually in the production unit. And so is your mixing section right here. This is your wave shape mixing and all that good stuff, and of course your attack adjustment, your sustain times, and all this. But your modulation circuits over here, your modulation amount adjustments, has an extra trim pot. And of course these chips here are all laid out different right here. So there's quite a bit of difference. And of course if you look at the board, you can see it's a revision A, and so quite a bit different there. But that's that board. And of course now I'm going to take you to the production one. Just kind of let you see an overview of it. And you'll see some similarities. Right here, this is your reference oscillator once again. And there's your mixing circuits, which you can see looks very similar. And then here's this section right down here that's different. You see you got 3 trimmers here, and of course this is a Rev B board. This is actually earlier production Polymoog. This is a Rev B circuit board, and that's basically the biggest differences I'm seeing on that board. And you can actually see on the prototype where they had to solder resistors and make things work. And now this is the biggest different board right here. This is actually the fixed filters, and this is the production one, and you can see how all the filters are laid out per voice and all that good stuff. And then this is your resonator here, resonator circuit. So now if we go look at the prototype on that board, you'll see it is marked up pretty heavily. They made all these little resistor networks and on breadboard. Looks like I am missing one of the filters, but that's okay. But you can kind of see here, this is really where the prototyping was taking place on this board, and even the resonator section is a little different. Once again, you got your weird numbering there. And then you got the filter board, VCF board, keyboard circuit, mono keyboard circuit board, and all that good stuff in this one. But you can see here where they were really still marking this board up too. You got these wires that are soldered to places. They added a trim pot to a socket with a cap. They added in a capacitor there. They jumped things around. but some of it looks correct too. But you can see there on your output amplifier shelf right here, they stack some resistors and calp and things like that. Probably working with hysteresis and things, getting things set up right. And then it's got this odd little card back here that does something, and I don't know what it does yet, but they added that into this circuit, as you can see. So really cool stuff here. And then take you up here and show you a production board. This is actually a circuit board I've restored for somebody, so it actually isn't even bolted in. But you can kind of see here, this is the production board. And this is a, see what revision this is. This is a revision E circuit board, which I don't know if you can see that on camera. That's a revision E. So this is a later board here. Of course, you can see this harness in this early Polymoog is different too. I had actually had a pin here because originally this wire here didn't go to this connector on the actual production board that went in this model. It actually had a socket, which I forget where it was. I think it was over here on one of these transistors, and actually plugged in on the board. So anyways, that's an overlook of some of the circuit boards in it. And of course, you can see I got rid of that little card. Evidently they integrated it into this board. But the high frequency oscillator cards, they're very similar. And then your divider board is very similar. And of course the power supply, this is actually a memory mode power supply in mine. I kind of modified this Polymoog a little bit. But anyways, we'll go back over here and just kind of show you once again on this one. You can see there's your high frequency oscillator cards. So they were pretty well marked up, it looks like. Then your divider boards down inside there. Of course, you can see the color wiring does not match. They use brown and white on production to simulate or to represent the sawtooth and square wave division parts of the circuit. And then of course the poly cards are a lot different in this one too. They're actually prototypes as well. Open it up and then you can see your programmer resistor networks. They were all pretty much prototyping that. And of course these boards here are prototypes as well, the front control boards. Of course you should know that because all this is laid out different as well. But anyways guys, I just thought I'd take a quick minute here. I know this video is probably a little boring, not real entertaining here, but just wanted to kind of document that and share it with all of you guys out there that might be interested. And anyways, thanks very much for watching.